Alright guys, so this will be step 2 of the SMW 3D CNC. In this step we're going to put together the Z gantry plate. If you're looking at a SMW 3D bomb, this will be called XZ front. In this bomb we're going to have 8 mini extreme wheels, 8 full-size wheels. All the full-size get 6mm mini eccentric spacers, M5 nuts. Note we're not going to use the 10x5x1 spacers in the full-size wheel kits. In the mini wheel kits we're going to use the 8x5x1 shim that comes in them. We're going to use all 6mm spacers. We'll use 4 standard spacers for the smaller holes and 4 eccentrics for the larger holes. We also have 2 Durlin acme blocks. This will be used to drive the Z. We'll have 3mm spacers, and as far as bolts go, we got M5x20s on the acmes, M5x25s everywhere else. I do have the acme pulled out for the Z. I'll show you what that's used for here in a second. I do have the 500mm length C-beam that's used for the Z. We'll use that to adjust the wheels just like we did in step 1. As far as tools go, I've got a little bit of Loctite, 4mm Allens, my small hand file, and here in just a second I'll have my 8mm combination wrench back. So that's the tools in the bomb. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so where I'm going to start is with the acme blocks. Nice and easy here, same as the last step. M5x20s. Oops. Sorry. Head goes in the recess side, that would only make sense. 2 3mm spacers. Lock collar. Or acme block. Lock tight. And we're just going to go ahead and run this on. I'm not going to run this on tightly. I'll show you the reason for that here in just a moment. I do want to get it snug though. So, still a little loose, but snug enough not to fall off. Go ahead and do the other 2. These are 2 smaller holes in between these jokers here. Holes should be pretty tight. Shouldn't have to tap them, but they definitely should be decently tight. Lock on there. Got a 3D printer running in the background, guys. If you got a little bit of noise here and there, apologize. One of the guys wanted to print something, so had to get one doing. Alright, so again, same thing here. I'm not going to like super tighten these down. They're going to remain pretty loose, and here's the reason why. So with this system, we're setting the tension really of the acme, and it shouldn't be something that needs to be done again and again and again. Really should only have to set this once. It should stay pretty good. I mean, the Durlin is going to wear out sooner or later, but between, you can see I can still turn it real easy by hand right now. Between the tension that we're going to cause, it should keep tension on it for a very, very long time. I haven't quite got to the point of making a maintenance schedule yet. I've ran mine for a multitude of hours. Eric's ran his for quite a bit. Neither one of us yet have had to get into this section at all. Alright, so I want to note that you can compress these Durlin blocks. A long time ago I built a printer, tightened the crud out of these, and I never could figure out why there was so much friction. So don't go crazy with these. We've got Loctite and Nylock nuts. They're not going to go anywhere. So you don't want to go crazy with it. You want to get it to where the block is firm on the plate. But you don't want this to have a whole bunch of tension. I mean, there shouldn't be any axial play. In the linear direction, there shouldn't be any play whatsoever. These are on exact centers. They're made to just make sure that both blocks keep good surface contact. So we want to just, again, snug them up real good, but not tight. Alright, so neither block moves now. I can still turn the Acme by hand. I want you guys to leave it about right there. Again, we shouldn't have to mess with these anymore. Not for a very long time. I haven't seen the number of hours yet, but it's not for a while. We don't need the Acme anymore. We can go ahead and lay that to the side. So, next we need to go ahead and do the wheels. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the mini wheels first. And where I'm going to start is, we're working on the axis that runs this way right now. This will be our Z. What I want to do is first do these smaller holes. These smaller holes are machined to be decently snug on the bolt. The reason why is we're going to use this line. As you can see, it kind of drags. We're going to use this line as a point of reference. You can see how the bolt doesn't much move there. I need, on these small holes, the regular spacers, not the eccentrics, 6mm. I do need to make sure I include the 8x1 or 8x5x1, sorry, shim on each mini wheel kit. It's going to make the spacing for everything right. Kind of mixing up my kits here. Again, let's go ahead and, just like we did in the first video, make sure we keep red Loctite on everything. Some of this Loctite off here. Again, I'm using red, it's alright to use blue, sure, maybe even yellow. Again, remember we got the hand file in case the edges of these bolts are hanging up above the M5 nut. I'll always try to make sure our group machines these to where it's really close to the edge. If not, protruding slightly, and again, if there's a lip, make sure you knock that off with the hand file. Tolerance inside the C-beam is really tight. I'm going to go ahead now and do these ones with the 6mm eccentric spacers. Alright guys, so you can see that we're done now with putting those, the ones with the eccentric spacers on. You can see I didn't, when I was messing with this just now, I didn't tighten these down yet. There's a reason for that. Just like there was in step 1, I'm going to go ahead and adjust the eccentric spacers, which I can tell from the outside of the plate, to where these upper ones are in the lower region of the recess that's in the plate. Alright, so that one's down now. That one's down. Let's see, I gotta turn this one this way. Okay, that one's down. And the last one. Just kind of see what's going on there. Alright, so that's down. Alright. Messing up our plate here. Alright. So we got those all set down. It's time to go ahead and set this up against our C-beam. Remember, these are fixed. The ones on the bottom with the standard spacers are fixed. So we're really trying to bring it up and match our top ones to the bottom ones and not have much tension. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this first one up a little bit. Try it out. Alright, that feels pretty snug already actually. Pretty good guess. Alright, I want to try to bring this one up to where it looks about the same. Maybe a little high right there. Tight. See, we went over this in the first video. Always make sure it's not the, top edge of the bolt hanging, but mine, I know it's not here, and I can see it's tight, so we know that this wheel is too tight. Again, don't force it over, you're going to cause a big nick in your wheels. So let me go ahead and bring this one down a little bit. Again guys, I know it's kind of a pain, but it's worth it when you get it all said and done. Alright, so I'm over 2 sets of wheels and I've got a little bit of wiggle. It feels like it's in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten up the front just a touch. Let me see what that did. It's a lot better. So it is the front. I'm calling this the front right now. I'm going to raise this slightly. Notice now I'm making really fine adjustments. There we go. Good and tight. So I'm going to go to the next set of wheels. See the bottom's moving, but not the top. Then we'll go about right there. Let's see where we lay it now. It's a little tight. Okay, good. I'm going to check to see if I can still... Yeah, I can turn the wheels and there's a very slight drag on them. Alright, we'll go to the next set. Slips right over it, of course, because we hadn't adjusted it. Bottom wheel's tight, top's loose. Go ahead and bring this one up about right there. Feels about right. It may be a touch tight. But I can feel those wheels, they feel good. Feel these wheels, they feel good. The axis is very tight. So we've got that done. Now let's go ahead and we know it's indexed correctly because we had a baseline. Now let's go ahead and add, even though this one's already this stiff, and again it can fall on its own gravity. We're going to go ahead and add an extra outside set of wheels. We decided to do this. It really helps with rigidity, adjustment. It's kind of a wheel overkill, if you will, but really helps to make a rigid system. So let's go ahead and get those installed. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and install these in these larger holes that run right down the side of the C-beam. We can go ahead and take this off for now. We know we got it adjusted. We're happy with it. Again, reach inside there. These will be a little harder to reach on this particular setup, so you kind of got to adjust them from taking the C-beam from both sides. But you should be able to turn the wheel, it moved the C-beam, and you should be able to hold the C beam and turn the wheel. If all of these are like that, you're right on the money. Alright, so again on these, I'm not going to add any shim whatsoever. And I want the bolt as far away from this post as possible, whereas on this one we want it as close to this post as possible. So I'm going to roll the eccentric out, just like that. And we'll build the kits. Finally got all that done. There we go. Got red Loctite everywhere. But we got our plate together and with our wheels on it. So it's all good. Alright, now as I said, all the eccentrics I have rolled out, these out away from the center. What we're going to do is go ahead and we know that we're right on the mini V wheels. You can feel it correcting it. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and adjust these in, same fashion here. I'm going to adjust these in until they just drag. We got that done. I said I can roll each wheel, but each wheel still affects. I'd encourage you to spend a little time just going over this a couple times, make sure everything is right where it should be. Well guys, that's it for this step. Next we're going to go ahead and do the XZ rear gantry plates. That's where we'll take advantage of the rest of these holes, make a nice double axis setup, and make sure that we can adjust it the same way. It'll have same kind of drive. Alright, thanks for watching. See you next video.